Because we can see him getting up and going towards the lectern there, and he's about to deliver this speech. Lila is going to stay with us, and we'll talk about it afterwards. And King Charles is about to begin his speech to the Bundestag.
Bundestagspräsidentin, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren,
Ladies and gentlemen,
es ist eine große Ehre,
it is a
heute
great
bei
honor
Ihnen zu
for me
sein.
to be here with you today.
Meine Frau und mir bedeutet es sehr
It
viel,
means a lot for me and my wife
wir auf meiner ersten
that on our first
Auslandsreise als König
visit abroad, for my first visit abroad as king, that I was invited to Germany.
dass ich hier sprechen darf,
And above all, that I've been invited to speak here
zur Freundschaft unserer
in order
Länder
to
zu erneuern.
renew the recognition of our common friendship.
Es gibt kaum einen besseren Ort dafür,
There
als dieses
is hardly any other better place than this building
die Geschichte
for
des 20. Jahrhunderts
this speech
erzählen.
today that tells the history of the 20th century. It
Was
demonstrates
unsere beiden Länder verbindet.
what connects our two countries.
1933
In 1933, it burned.
1945 schwer
In
beschädigt.
1945, it was severely damaged.
In den 90er Jahren von einem
And then
britischen
in
Architekten
1990, in the 1990s, it was reconstructed by a British
wiedervereinigten demokratischen
architect for
Deutschlands
the newly
umgebaut.
reunited
Die
country of Germany.
ikonische Glaskuppel ist ein Symbol
The glass
für
dome
die Transparenz
is a symbol
und
for
Rechenschaftspflicht
transparency
des Parlaments.
and for
Von hier aus
justice
können
in this parliament.
die Bürgerinnen und Bürger
From here,
ihren
citizens
Politikern tatsächlich
can see
bei der
their
Arbeit
politicians
sehen.
working.
Gelebte Demokratie.
This is lived democracy.
Meine Frau und ich
My wife and I
durften bereits im November 2020
were
anlässlich
already
des
able to come
Volksfrauentags
here in November of
hier im
2020
Bundestag
for Remembrance
zu
Day
Gast sein.
in the Bundestag.
Es war mir sehr wichtig,
It was very
75
important for me
Jahre nach
to be
dem
here
Zweiten
75
Weltkrieg
years after the
an
end
der
of the
Seite
Second
der
World War
Deutschen alle Opfer von Krieg
and
und
to
Tyrannei
remember
gedenken.
all the victims of this war.
Und als erstes Mitglied meiner Familie
And
an dieser bewegenden
as the first member of my
Gedenkfeier
family
teilzunehmen.
to be able to participate in this
Ihre
Day of Remembrance.
Einladung damals zeigt, wie weit das
Your
Vereinigte
invitation
Königreich
at that point
und Deutschland
showed
auf dem Weg der Freundschaft
how
und des Friedens
important
gekommen sind.
peace and friendship are for
Sie,
Germany
Herr
and
Bundespräsident,
for
haben
the United
dies
Kingdom.
schon
You,
2018
Mr. President,
so eindrucksvoll bewiesen.
showed that in
Mit ihrer
2018
Teilnahme am Gedenken
with your
zum 100.
participation
Jahrestag des
on
Endes des Ersten
the Day of
Weltkriegs
Remembrance
in London.
of the 100th day of
Today,
the 100th
gives me
day
particular
following the
pride
end of World War I.
to be with you once again, now as King, and to renew the special bond of friendship between our two countries. This friendship meant so much to my beloved mother, the late Queen, who often spoke of the 15 official visits she made to Germany, including her 5 state visits. The first of those in 1965 came when our continent was still deeply scarred by war and the trauma of conflict. Hers was the wartime generation, and like my father, the Queen had served in uniform. That my parents' 11-day tour of Germany should prove to be a pivotal moment in the reconciliation between our nations was therefore a matter of great personal significance to them both. Meine Mutter wusste, welch enorme Errungenschaft
My mother knew
Versöhnung bedeutete.
what a great accomplishment this was, this reconciliation. And with her many visits to Germany, she wanted to contribute. Perhaps that is the reason why she has found such a special place in the heart of the Germans. Là, il vient de parler en allemand.
Family und ich waren zutiefst berührt von der Reaktion
My mother and I were very touched by the reaction coming from Germany following my mother's death. The condolences coming from the Bundestag and seeing the Brandenburg Gate in the colors of the Union Jack, and the thousands of entries in condolences books around the country were a large source of condolence for our country. In the name of my entire country, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you from the depths of my heart for your showing of condolence from all around the world, from all around the country. Mr. President, Madam President of the Bundestag, since the last time I spoke here, the ghosts of war have returned to Europe. The war of aggression against Ukraine has brought about unimaginable suffering to innocent people. Countless lives have been destroyed. Dignity and freedom have been stepped upon in a brutal way. Europe's security is threatened, as well as our democratic values. However, the world did not just stand by and watch. We see the destruction. However, we can bring about courage through our unity to protect Ukraine, to protect peace and freedom.
Deutschland und das Vereinigte Königreich
Germany and the United Kingdom have an important leadership role. As the largest donor for Ukraine within Europe, we reacted with determination and took important decisions that in the past would have been unimaginable. The decision by Germany to offer such large military support to the Ukraine is brave, courageous, and welcome. Our pilots fly together. They practice together in the air with our Baltic partners. Here in Germany, our army have a common amphibious engineer battalion that I will visit this afternoon. Germany is an important victor land around the world. that is the only country around the world that has a battalion such as this with the United Kingdom. And this is an important piece of proof of our partnership.
I can hardly begin to express the pride I feel in the strength of the partnership between our two countries. Germany, her people, and distinctive culture have made such a profound impact on me over so many years, so many of my previous visits. Since I first came to Germany, when I was just 13 years old, I have grown to become familiar with the different corners of this remarkable land. Like many British people, I have close personal ties here. In my case, cherished family relationships and associations that go back generations. For all of us, however, there are countless points of connection and common experience in the British-German story, which has unfolded over nearly 2 millennia. Throughout the Middle Ages, the renowned Hanseatic League traded goods from Lübeck and Hamburg to ports up and down the English coast, establishing a trading partnership which underpins our shared prosperity to this day. Where goods traveled, ideas traveled too. Our people came to be inspired by each other's example. Wir entwickelten eine gegenseitige Bewunderung
developed
für unsere Literatur
mutual
und Musik.
admiration for our literature and music. Germany was the first language that Shakespeare was translated to, and the first Shakespeare Society in the world was not founded in England, but rather in Weimar in 1864. In just a few weeks, in Westminster Abbey, for the coronation ceremony, we'll be hearing Georg Friedrich Händel's marvelous pieces, who was born as a German and died as a British person. My grandfather
Throughout the centuries,
also enjoyed his music.
Traveled back and forth between our lands. In the 19th century, many Britons fell in love with Germany whilst on the Grand Tour. William Turner's mesmerizing paintings of the Rhine sparked in his countrymen the ambition to see those landscapes for themselves, a demand later met by Thomas Cook, the pioneer of tourism, who would organize his first foreign trip along the Rhine, with stops at Cologne, Frankfurt, Heidelberg, and Baden-Baden. Today, millions of Britons visit Germany each year, just as millions of Germans travel to our shores. Britons come to admire Berlin's vibrant culture and nightlife, making up Europe's largest visitor group to this wonderful city. So we are still admiring of each other's culture, dependent upon each other's economies, and inspired by each other's ideas. More recent generations may think as readily of the Beatles or Kraftwerk as they do of Brahms or Baron, but the web of cultural connections is as strong as ever. And perhaps most importantly, for the last 50 years, we have laughed together, both at each other and with each other. And while Miss Sophie's the same procedure as every year, James, and while that does not, I hope, give a very accurate impression of modern Britain, it is, I know, an integral part of a German Happy New Year. In Britain, Germany's comedy ambassador, Henning Wenn, has given us an understanding of German quirks, as Monty Python brought our own here. And like all old friends, at moments, the warmth of our relationship allows a small smile at each other's expense. Natürlich gibt es auch Rivalität.
Of course, there's also rivalries,
da besonders an die Begegnungen
especially
zwischen unseren Fußballmannschaften.
our football teams going at it comes to mind.
Vor diesem Hintergrund war es etwas ganz Besonderes.
Because of this, this is something very special that the British women's football team, the Lionesses, were able to become European champions against Germany.
Über den sportlichen Erfolg hinaus haben
Beyond sports, both teams worked hard for the equality of genders and were able to inspire an entire generation. Great Britain, Germany, and the entire world were inspired.
This is just one example of how our countries together can offer a compelling example to the world. There are, I am delighted to say, very many more. Faced with so many shared challenges, the United Kingdom and Germany are together providing leadership to secure our shared future. Today, the United Kingdom and Germany are Europe's two largest producers of power from offshore wind. Many German firms are involved in the production and erection of turbines off the British coast. The North Sea, across which our people have travelled and traded for generations, is soon to be the site of a new interconnector, allowing us directly to trade electricity. Our countries are both accelerating the expansion of our hydrogen economies, the fuel which could transform our future, and I'm looking forward to seeing Hamburg's plans to use hydrogen in its efforts to become a fully sustainable port. These innovations are vital in combating the existential challenge of climate change and global warming, which confronts us all. And as such, I was delighted to meet participants of the Berlin Energy Transition Dialogue yesterday to hear how countries are accelerating this transition. Seit langem sind die britische und die deutsche wissenschaftliche Forschung wegweisend.
German and British scientific research has been very important. New technology startups from both countries taken both first and second place within Europe. Between our universities and our research institutes, there are more cooperations than between any other two pairs of countries in Europe. For example, a Berlin company is setting up lanterns in London in order to use these as chargers for electric cars. And in Berlin, you can travel through the entire city using an electric taxi from London. On an international level, we also work very closely together. At the climate conference in Glasgow, we created the Just Energy Transition Partnership with South Africa. There was also another partnership with Indonesia that was the result of intensive cooperation during Germany's presidency of the G7.
President of the Bundestag, ladies and gentlemen, this essential partnership between our two countries is built of the expertise, dedication, and ingenuity of countless people in both Germany and the United Kingdom. To them all, I can only offer my sincere and heartfelt gratitude. Tomorrow we will once again stand with the people of Germany in solemn remembrance. In Hamburg, I will pay my respects at the memorial to the Kindertransport, which 85 years ago saved the lives of more than 10,000 Jewish children from Nazism and gave them safe passage to new lives in Britain. I will also join you, Mr. President, and First Mayor Tschentscher in remembering those who perished in the Allied bombing of Hamburg in 1943. Aus der Vergangenheit zu lernen ist unsere oberste Pflicht. Aber nur durch unser Engagement für eine gemeinsame Zukunft können wir sie voll erfüllen.
Can we carry this out? Together, we have to pay a special attention to threats to our values and show determination to fight back against them. Together, we have to ensure that our people are able to live in the security and prosperity they deserve. The long and special history of our countries contains many unwritten chapters. Let us continue to carry out these chapters with our efforts for a common future. Through our past and for our future, we need to do our utmost. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention today.
Well, that was King Charles III speaking there to the German Bundestag and being applauded at the moment.